This is a guy who remembers Thelonious Monk putting him on his knee when he was a kid. This is jazz royalty. His father was Ray Copeland, who played with Monk and with so many other people. Keith came over for the IASJ meeting in Dublin in 1991, and when the second IASJ meeting was held in Dublin at Newpark in 1991, and Keith came over. He was representing the new school at the time, and we got to play. I got to play with him, and maybe it's some jam session or something. I can't remember exactly when Tommy and I would first have played, but I know we started to seriously play when we did the summer school up in Jordanstown in the mid-1990s, and the faculty was myself, Keith, Tommy, Hugh Fraser, who was the head of the faculty on trombone and piano, Norma was singing, and Jean Toussaint was the saxophone guy. We did it for 3 or 4 years, maybe 4. Kenny Wheeler played or came and joined us on the last one. And we got to play and hang with Keith a lot there because we used to do a faculty gig, like a teacher's concert kind of thing.
Ronan organised a gig in Dublin after the week of teaching, and we played in Dublin with John Toussaint and Keith Copeland, and it worked out very well. And then later on, Keith used to come back to teach, and he said, we should play a couple of gigs. So we did play a couple of gigs in JJ's and places like that.
And we really had so much fun, and then Keith said, I'm going to talk to Nils Winter, who's the head of SteepleChase, about us doing some trio things, and so that's how it happened. We recorded with Paul Ashbrand, a great engineer. We recorded him in his studio that he had in Dublin at that time, and we recorded live in Limerick in a hotel. I'm trying to think of the name of the hotel, but it's recorded. It's called Live in Limerick is the name of it. So we made those 3 albums, and then we made another one that Tommy kind of put together called Breathing the Air, and that was really good too. Actually, we made 4. I have to say, we made 4 very good albums. Really did. It was a great experience working with someone. This is a guy who remembers Thelonious Monk putting him on his knee when he was a kid. This is jazz royalty. His father was Ray Copeland, who played with Monk and with so many other people, and who played with literally, everybody. He played everybody of his generation. He was taught by Alan Dawson. He was jazz royalty, and for us to have a chance to play with him and hang out with him and all of that stuff was amazing, and that was really a great time. About 1996 into the early 2000s, on and off, and then Keith got quite sick, and then he did come back. He made a recovery, and we did play at least one more gig in JJ's with him. But that was really a highlight for both of us, I'd say.
Like he toured with Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, so he had a lot of experience behind him. And he was living in Europe at the time as well. He was living in Germany, so he come to Ireland he could come. He didn't have to come from the States all the time, so it was easier and was less expensive as well. So the little tours we did, eventually he said we should record, And the stuff we recorded from the first album was called The Irish Connection. It was a combination of tunes that he thought he wanted to play. One of them was a tune by John Coltrane, Saida's Love Song, which he said sounded like an Irish jig or an Irish song, We did some standards. Ronan wrote a couple of tunes. Ronan wrote something. He wrote one job, I remember. taking notes, and which was in 7, and of course Keith could play. We did actually play the Chicken in 7 on the first album, and I had to get my head around that one because I wasn't using to play too much or so much in the odd meters, but it worked out that.
You know, first of all, the intensity that he played at. He could play incredibly loud. I mean, it was some of the loudest drumming I've ever played with. And I've played with a lot of loud drummers. But he could really, so physically strong. You know, if he really went for it, geez, it was extraordinary, the power and physicality of it. But the other thing, the thing that's so remarkable about him was his time. Time was just unbelievable. I mean, never moved, never rushed, never dragged. Just where it was. He also he taught us a really interesting thing, is that it's great to play slow. He used to like to do a walking bass tempo tune, like slow, what at a ballad tempo but walking bass. That's one of the hardest things you can do. It's like, you see, you're going B do do do, and it's not 2 in the bar, it's 4 in the bar. So I'm playing boom boom, and he's playing like that. And if you don't match that cymbal beat and that bass note at that tempo, you can hear it. It's like a flam, you know, like that. So to keep that tempo and maintain it was really challenging. But you know, and I don't think it was challenging for Keith. It was challenging for me though. And Tommy as well, because we used to play Falling in Love with Love at that tempo. I think playing with Keith made me realise the sheer depth of rhythmic complexity, what that means. It's not just, you know, things that seem to be hard on paper. It's also what he did. Play that slow tempo like that, that's a rhythmic virtuosity. You know, a lot of people think rhythmic virtuosity is being able to play 9 over 15 or something like that. And it can be that, but it can also be this. So that's really what I learned. One of the things I learned from him is just the sheer depth of the jazz tradition rhythmically.
You know, this guy, you know, was just a power of nature unto himself, you know, when he started to play. He also was a great communicator, you know. He brought the people out. Every time Keith played in Ireland, there was always a great crowd, you know. He would talk, you know, to the people. And I'll just give you one example. We played in Falcara in Donegal, and it was a heritage place. And it was a late Sunday afternoon, you know, and plenty of rain and wind, as typically you'd expect up in Donegal, you know. And I was saying to Ronan, you know, they play jazz in this place, you know. But, and you see, and all of a sudden there were people coming with their family, younger people coming in late afternoon on a Sunday, you know what I mean? Like, what else would you be doing except going to hear a jazz concert? But anyway, I'm just thinking, we're going to die the death here, you know. But, and then Keith opened up by saying, I noticed here that it's a heritage place. All the people that left from here to go to live in New York or emigrated and all that, we did the same where I came from, you know, from Africa. And he made these parallels with the Irish. And of course, he just started to play and everybody clapped. So we just had them. He just got an amazing way of trying to make sure that the people were there to hear us play and, you know, to enjoy it.